Welcome to America in Focus, powered by the Center Square. I'm Dan McCaleb, executive editor of the Center Square Newswire service. With me today is Casey Harper, the Center Square's Washington, D.C. bureau chief. Casey, we're recording this on Friday, April 21st. There has been a huge battle going on across the country the past more than a year, I guess, regarding transgender issues on topics such as should biological boys who identify as girls be allowed to play high school sports, college sports, etc. This week, the U.S. House passed legislation that would bar biological boys from playing girls' sports. Tell us about it.
The House Republicans did pass this bill. There's some doubt over if it'll even get a vote in the Senate, but it's really interesting to see so many Republicans be so proactive and so unified on what's mostly a social issue because, Republicans kind of hit or miss on the social issues their base cares about. Sometimes they draw the line and they're just going to stick by it. And other times they kind of just ignore it because they don't want to fight the battle. So an example would be, for the most part, Republicans have drawn the line on abortion. There's definitely some flaky Republicans, but they're pretty strong on abortion and they're fighting that fight. And they've just decided it is a social issue, but we're going to fight it. Whereas, the gay marriage issue, which is kind of done now, it's not even an issue, but I remember when it was an issue, and Republicans, I think for the most part, just didn't want to fight that fight. There was a few who did, but they kind of just let that battle go. And so here we are with this transgender issue, and I think they have the same choice. But what we're seeing, at least for now, I think, is that they've decided to take up this fight in the way they've taken up abortion and not ignore it kind of the way they did gay marriage. So I think that shows, them digging in their heels shows this is not going away. I think there is a lot of organization in the conservative base in fighting this. There is real concern about these athletes because I don't know if have you seen some of these videos, Dan, where there's like a 6'3" transgender athlete running against these like 5'6" high school or junior high girls and just dominating them. Have you seen any of these competition videos?
Yeah, I have. And it's disturbing. My personal opinion.
I think these videos honestly have really informed it. People watch this and there's just kind of an internal sense that this isn't fair. And there have been some injuries. There was a girl who was injured in volleyball when a biological male spiked the volleyball into her face. She was really injured. There was a UFC fighter who was just absolutely destroyed by the biological male she was fighting. So there has become even really a health or safety, risk or questions about this. Of course, Leah Thompson, famously broke all these like records, won championships in swimming. And so all these athletes are breaking records. And there's just kind of like a sense that what's going on here? Is this really fair to the girls? And there's been a lot of outspoken young women who have gone around it's just like a justice issue, raising concerns about this, saying, hey, this isn't fair. It's taking scholarships from girls. It's taking medals from girls who are working really hard. I think everyone instinctively knows that some of these girls, they don't have a chance. And this isn't just like sexism or something. This is documented. If you look at all the world records, for example, for every Olympic competition and the world records for men and women, the men's world records are always so much faster, or the lifting records are so much, like much more weight, stronger. And of course, there's so much scientific research about how men are faster and stronger than women. And it's not just the testosterone and the hormones. It's like bone density, even just like literally the way our bones are structured from birth are different. So there's, I don't know. I think that I'm not sure that this particular bill is really going to be like the final nail in the coffin, but it's really interesting to see that this has become one of the top culture war issues. And I don't think it's going away soon.
Yeah, and it's being fought in the states too. The North Carolina legislature, for example, this week just passed legislation that would bar biological males from participating in girls' sports, even if they identify with girls. Riley Gaines lobbied for that legislation to be passed, and she posted a video of one of those high school girls, volleyball players, that was injured by a biological boy. It drew hundreds of thousands of engagements in like just a few hours. So this is not something that's just on the minds of top Republicans and top Democrats. The American people are getting involved in this as well.
Yeah, they are. And there's been a lot of really good reporting showing that one of the rules of journalism is follow the money. And there's been a lot of really good reporting showing that there is a lot of money to be made in pushing these surgeries and treatments on young kids. It's really a cottage industry of hormones and surgeries. And, Vanderbilt Medical Center, for example, really took a lot of heat for this and how they were talking about the profit and the money to be made off of these, treating kids with this on this trans stuff. So there's really I think whoever has the better story usually wins on political issues. And I think the Republicans have built a pretty compelling story that, hey, there's a fringe activist group who's pushing this stuff on kids and making a ton of money off of it, using it for political gain, and it's hurting young girls, not to mention the kids who experience and who often later regret that they transitioned and had these life-altering procedures and hormones in the first place.
Yeah, but there are states that are going the other way too. The Washington state legislature, for example, is working on legislation that would allow teens, non-adults, minors, to transition without alerting their parents, for example. Battle lines have definitely been drawn, and this is a fight and a story that is not going to go away. Readers can follow the Center Square's coverage on this topic and others at thecentersquare.com. For Casey Harper, I'm Dan McCaleb. Please subscribe, and thank you for listening.